Humans of the Cardboard, we're back with more hot off the press Yu-Gi-Oh news. Shout out to Yu-Gi-Oh organization. They kill getting this news out to us. They just do a great job. So shout out to them. I don't do it enough. That's my fault, but they do a great job. It's the website we're using today. So, yeah, 2 new adventure cards. I mean, we kind of got a legal night. Nothing, it looks like. I don't think there's any support in Power of the Elements, and now we're sitting here with 2 more cards here. Let's see what they do, because obviously this is like one of the most powerful generic engines we've ever seen in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? So let's get into this. Starting off here, we have the Sacred Spirit Vessel Thessia, level 4 Earth Fairy effect monster. Earth Fairy, okay, I mean, we're looking at Vernalizer Fairies. I'm looking at the Ishizu Fairy cards as well, or level 4 Earth Fairies for the most part. 1,000 for the stats. Those are decent, whatever. I mean, it's nothing crazy. That's mediocre as hell. You can only use both of its effects once per turn each. First effect, if you control Adventure Token, special summon this card from the hand, as most of the Adventure archetype cards tend to do, at least the monsters. So that's pretty cool. Jumps out of the hand. Second effect, you can reveal 1 card that mentions Adventure Token in your hand. Add 1 non-normal spell that mentions Adventure Token from your deck to your hand. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect, except Adventure Tokens and monsters that mention it. That's a very, very brutal stipulation here. Very interesting on this piece here. So it searches any non-normal spell. So you cannot search Rite of Aramis here, but I think you could pretty much search every other spell in the archetype. Which is pretty good. I know there's field spells, there's equip spells, outside of just the Draco back, and there's also, this can search Fateful Adventure though, so that's cool if you don't have that. And of course we're looking at a continuous spell in just a moment. So that restriction is brutal, but what I do kind of like with this direction is like, Adventure's good enough as an engine, right? So I like that this seems like Konami's going in a direction of, hey, let's make like a pure adventure deck, like a little more fun, a little more interesting. I like that, because I'd like to see this deck fleshed out a little more, and with restrictions like this, you'd be able to play the deck pure. This is just like a solid search effect for any spell in the deck aside from Rite, and I like it. I think it's pretty good. It's an extender, pretty easy, and then searches your entire deck for everything but Rite, spell-wise. It's pretty good. I like it. Moving on here, we move to Aramatir, the Forbidden Spell. You have a Legal Knight in the artwork here, which is pretty cool. Also, I didn't really focus on this artwork here. I don't really know what I'm looking at. It's supposed to be like isekai based. I guess it's like just like a mystical creature fairy thing. Okay. And this is a Legal Knight like dying. He's like straight, the Forbidden Spell being cast on a Legal Knight or something. I don't know. Crazy. Continuous spell card. You can only use the first and second effects once per turn. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Adventure Token to either field, then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Okay, so it's a 1-for-1. Like, this card stays on the field, but you just essentially trade a card in hand to get an Adventure Token on the field. What I like is that there's no stipulation on how many Adventure Tokens you can have. You just normally, the only other way to summon them in the archetype was, I believe, Rite, unless I'm mistaken. I think that's the only other way to summon. So this gives you a way to put a second Adventure Token on the field, because, which is nice, because most of the archetype is reliant on having that token on the field. So if your opponent has something like a Kaiju that just clears the token, they turn off the Illegal Knight. They turn off the Griffin, right? So it's pretty nice to have access to. Pretty cool. And also there's stuff like Draco back, where if you discard it, it's able to equip, or stuff like a Water Enchantress, discard her. She's able to be a resource later on as well. Pretty cool. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect, except Adventure Token monsters and those that mention it. Again, same stipulation, very, very brutal, but I like this. The Adventure engine does not need to be better as an engine. It needs to be better as a pure deck, and that's exactly what these do, I think. And the last effect, if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by a battle or card effect that is yours or your opponent's, pretty interesting to note, you can special summon 1 Adventure Token to either field. Now, I don't know why you would ever be summoning an Adventure Token to your opponent's field. That seems a little bit weird to me, but still, I'll take this. This is a decent, like, annoying float that makes it like, so this first effect summons a token, and if your opponent has to remove the token via destruction, you just summon another one. It's really, really annoying. It almost feels like Pacifist, how like as long as they don't have a token on, or their own token on the field, they just summon another one every time you activate an effect. Very annoying unless you can go after the field spell itself. Same kind of situation here. Like you really want to clear this card because otherwise you're just going to have like an endless conga line of 2,000 tokens, which enables the rest of the entire deck. And it's pretty solid. I don't know. I dig it. I definitely dig it for sure. So yeah, there we go. I think that's pretty much it for these two new cards. I think they're solid. I'm not mad. I'd actually be curious. Like, is there a way to play like just an anti-meta pure adventure deck? I've seen some lists that mess around with it, but I'm not sure where it fully is at the end of the day. Because some of these, like, if you wanted to play it, like, I feel like you just can't afford to play a deck entirely pure. But if you want to throw, like, a Floodgate monster in there, I would think something maybe like, I've seen a Mono Awado be messed around with. Like, you normal Mono Awado, but Rite of Aramasir says normal summon monsters can't use their effects, so he can't bounce himself on end phase. So he's literally just on field saying your opponent can't activate monster effects while he's there, which is actually insane. So that's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool interaction. Maybe you play a pure deck where you just play 3 Mono Awado. You don't really need the extracts. You can play stuff like Prosperity, Extravagance, whatever. I don't know. Maybe there's something there, and these cards definitely help facilitate stuff like that, right? Wait, hold on. This just says you cannot special summon. So you can still normal summon something like an Mono Awado, but these brutal restrictions still don't keep you from being able to summon him. So you would be good to go. Pretty cool. I'm actually pretty curious there where we'd end up, but I like it. I think this is pretty nice support, all things considered, for the pure variants, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. If you have messed around with the pure variant, or a more pure variant, I guess, of the adventure deck, definitely let me know your thoughts on these two new cards down below and how much they actually will help the deck. I'd be curious, but yeah. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching as always. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more news videos from me as stuff drops. I believe this is like the 20th and 19th last card from the new set, Darkwing Blast. So I think there's 18 more cards. The set's dropping in like 9 days. So, you know, we're going to get the last 18 very quickly and more after that. So stay tuned. I will keep you updated on that as it drops. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.